here at Galaxy on the trade desk, we're seeing real buyers come in, people who are not fast money, but who are buy and hold, who are believing in it, and they're not, the usual people that you would normally see. And quite frankly, it's really encouraging, because when I come on the desk and they say XYZ just bought, I'm like, really? We've been talking to them for 2 years, and finally, they've decided to pull the trigger. And so I think the ETF only one, makes them more comfortable, and then two, structurally allows more money to flow into the ecosystem. So I think it really is a big positive.
Oh, Jason, if only you could tell me who XYZ is. I have a feeling you won't, but
although XYZ wouldn't be a client anymore if I could.
Exactly. But, Jason, obviously, if we do think back to 2021, it was such a different market then, in that we weren't just talking about Bitcoin. We were talking about, Dogecoin and all these other fringe tokens, altcoins. But really, the other big story then was this lending, crypto borrow and lending operations that really, some eye-popping yields back in the days when there was no yield to be found anywhere. And of course, it all sort of blew up spectacularly last year. But I can't help but wonder if that lending and borrowing market will have a rebirth, given what crypto prices are doing now. We saw some news, Sam Altman, the OpenAI co-founder, starting a Bitcoin private credit fund. Where is that element of the market, the lending and borrowing and yield farming? Where is all that? Are we coming back in that space as well?
Not as quickly as I think we'd like. I mean, here Galaxy, we have a lending business. Now, we've always lent oversecured and have been responsible with it. I think that what you're finding is that will come back, but you need to find the structure to allow that to come back, because the days of, I think the true Bitcoiners, not your keys, not your coin, were proven right in the aftermath of 21. And so, as we look at our business and what the inbound we're getting, people are looking for leverage, and there aren't a lot of places that are equipped to give it, one, and two, have a structure in place that allows for that to happen. Prime is a true prime, or a real prime, is something that the ecosystem generally needs. We have a product that we're rolling out, G1, that hopefully addresses some of that, but it really, on a full scale, it's not there, and we're not getting there yet as a community. And so that's why I think, again, back to the ETF, why that is important is because that is an equity that fits into a system that everyone is comfortable with. And a lot of the traders and a lot of the trading desks that are in the space will just use that, and they'll do a delta replacement. They'll buy the ETF, they'll sell their Bitcoin, release cash, use the cash to buy more Bitcoin or some of these other coins that actually are that serve a purpose, right? I think that when we looked at altcoins and some of the names on that historically, people forget that that's a technology, and there's a need for that.
Hey, Jason, I got to ask you a more basic question here, and it's one that just comes down to sort of fundamentals and beliefs here. I got to get you to react to what Jamie Dimon said last week. And for those who don't know what he said, the only true use case for crypto is criminals, drug traffickers. He talked about tax avoidance, money laundering. He said, if I was the government, I'd close it down. We have a minute left. What did you make of that?
He's talking his own book. I mean, if I could look at how I would protect my brand or my ecosystem, crypto and blockchain is a disintermediating action, right? And so at the end of the day, of course he's going to say that. Physical dollars, are used more for illicit activity than crypto. It can be traced everywhere. It's immutable. The whole purpose of an immutable blockchain is that it can be tracked all the way back to its origin. So if you're a bad guy doing bad things, you're not using crypto. You're going to use other things that can't be tracked.